So I've been feeling really nostalgic in my soap making lately, basically reflecting back on the past, on when I'd go to Hawaii with my family and I'd have a lot of relatives waiting at the airport and putting all these floral leis around her neck until my little head was kind of buried in all these flowers. It was a great memory, and I do remember the scent. So for this particular soap, I looked for Puakenikeni, which is a little white flower that kind of turns orange and turns yellow and kind of changes with time, but it has a very jasmine-like fragrance to it. So there's also that pikake and plumeria, but this is a special fragrance. So I'm going to make the soap out of that, and I'm going to follow the color of the flowers, which is anything from like a white to kind of ochre, yellow, and orange color, and it's really subtle. So this coloration of the soap is going to be very subtle too. So I guess this is continuing my like island themed soaps for a couple of these videos. You've seen the tiki soaps, and I have another soap after this one that's another island themed soap, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Well, we better get started right now. Okay, let's blend everything up. I have a sneaky suspicion that this fragrance that smells wonderful, and I specifically look for it too, because in my childhood when we went to Hawaii quite a bit, I would smell this flower, and there's a lot of flowers in Hawaii that smell really good. There's the plumeria, but there's also this Puakenikeni, and they make Hawaiian leis out of it, and it's just really beautiful. But I have a sneaky suspicion that it's going to accelerate, even though I plan for something that's going to be a little bit more liquid. So we'll see what happens. And I'm soaking at about 73 degrees. So making sure that I just blend to emulsification. As I always tend to do, unless I make a layered soap. So if you stir your lye into your oils first quite a bit, then the really blendy type of agitation of the batter, you don't have to do as much, and you can make sure the lye's all mixed in there without unnecessary acceleration. But you got to make sure that the lye and the oils are completely combined. And that is pretty good. Let's get the fragrance in there and cross our fingers. The fragrance oil is slightly warmed so that it doesn't shock the batter too much. Pretty good. So let's get my colors poured. Let's start with the smaller amounts. It's a mix of greens. I want a light green, but not too light. So it's a mix of a dark and a green, a dark and a light green. There's my gold. Orange. And some icicle white. Oh, yep, there it goes. It's trying to speed up a little. And then I want to get my green in there, my light green. A little bit of rising too, but I think it'll be under control. And this is the batter that I usually use, so I know what's in it, and I know generally what to expect unless the fragrance oil does something crazy. going to have to be good. Looks like split pea soup right now, but it will morph back to a nice green. My white. And there's my yellow that didn't get anything in it. So let me do something. So this is what to do if you make mistakes, as I often do. Maybe I don't need that much white, so I'm going to add that to the yellow and get a nice like pastel yellow. Stir that in. And actually, by pure chance, if you look at pictures of the Puakenikeni flower online, you'll see that it's a kind of creamy yellow. So by chance I looked out there. And let's whisk the gold and the green. I noticed that the flowers, as they age, they change color, and there's a golden look to them too. So there's the gold, there's the green. For San Diego, we've been having some cooler weather, and that may have something to do with my soap getting harder faster. And I still have this orange, may as well stir it first. So this is going to be quite different than I thought. This is even thicker than my last soap. Let's see if we can stir it out a little bit. It's kind of lumpy. I guess I better just get everything in there, even though this is kind of loose. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do, because I don't like those lumps, is blend it a little bit more. And that did get the lumps out. I'm going to try something that'll simulate what I wanted to do. Keep some of that for the top. I want to pair the orange and the yellow. I want the green to stay a little separate. Who knows if this will work, but you know what? I try to encourage people to try different things. And sometimes the soap acting up on you helps you learn what you can get away with. Then the gold, you need a smaller spatula. Anyway, those colors look great together. Alright, so now, as I've been showing you in a lot of my soaps, like a pirate, a lot of my soaps, is that you can get away with a lot of stirring if you kind of cut through it. And let's get this thing poured. Actually, let's get a little bit of this white Why am I forgetting so much? You know what? There's a lot on my mind lately. That's kind of grainy. Let's get it in there. Luckily, I have another mica drizzle all prepared, and that almost always rescues the top if something like this happens. So this white is like oatmeal. I think I'll get that in there first. Down the middle, so I can always hide it with the top layers of soap. I had my suspicions about this fragrance as soon as I smelled it, because generally if there's this really perfumey like floral, and florals tend to accelerate anyway, I have soaked enough with these fragrances to recognize that particular scent that will accelerate. Get some of this orange, I'll save my yellow for the very top, and my gold drizzle. So definitely we'll have to do some smushing. This is the patented smushing action right here. Where's my gold drizzle? Okay, so that's just perfect, but I do have this gold glitter. I'm gonna put it down the middle a little bit. This glitter is so amazing. Its coverage is almost complete, so if you go overboard, you'll hide your complete top. So I just put a little bit down the middle, and we'll bring you back for this bad boy's cut. Okay, let's cut this really naughty soap. Interesting first cut. You know, sometimes it's worth working with the fragrances that accelerate, and most notably the floral fragrances. So in this case, I was specifically looking for, I like that green. It's really light green. I was specifically looking for a scent that would remind me of Hawaii. I remember when I was a kid and we'd go to the airport in Honolulu, and I have maybe 60 or more first cousins. So you can imagine how many aunts and uncles I have. And in those days, everyone would come to the airport to greet you. And almost all of the families would have Hawaiian leis that they would put around their heads. And I remember being a little kid, and my head was completely buried in these beautiful flowers, orchids, pikake, plumeria. And so I have a great memory of that. So when I was making my tiki soaps, and you can look back at that because that was my last video, really Hawaii came to mind. And so I decided to get this fragrance. And it said it didn't accelerate, but you know what? Sometimes you know it's going to do that. When I smelled the fragrance out of the bottle, I thought, you know what? This really does smell like a fragrance that would accelerate. So I kept my original idea for this pour as a more complex, more liquid type pour. Thinking that maybe I'll have good luck and it won't accelerate so much, but it did. But not horrifically, so I was able to get it out of there. So I wanted the colors of the pikake. So I wanted the colors of this beautiful flower. And the flower, if you look at the Puakenikeni, is anywhere from a light cream to yellow to golden to orange. So I wanted those colors in this. And I wanted a backdrop of a really light green instead of white. So that's what I was after in this. And then the gold on top. I want to talk for a moment about subscriptions. You know, I've been on YouTube for many years, maybe 7 years. And something's kind of crazy with my algorithm. And I realized that too. And I just really thought that my channel would grow faster. So anyway, I'm just going to ask you all to, if you haven't subscribed yet, to go ahead and hit that little hummingbird icon. That'll subscribe you so you'll see all my videos. And the other thing is I get a lot of comments saying on Instagram I'll have my finished soaps and I'll post that. And I still have a lot of people saying, how did you make that? And I thought, you know, it's easier for me to show through a video how I made these rather than try to explain in words how I did it. So there's benefits to subscribing too. And for those of you that care not to do that, I respect that. And I do love the comments. And it's getting to the point where it's more difficult to respond to everybody, but I'm still trying. It's coming up on a year where I got a video out every single week of the year, and I'm going to maintain that to March, which we're almost in March. And I did that because I was coming out of a little break, and then the pandemic hit. So I thought, what better way for me to kind of cope through this whole isolation business than to make videos. And I know a lot of people have made comments that through this time it's kind of nice to have a familiar voice coming in through the video. So for whatever reason, that's the end of that. So thank you, because it's the end of the video too. Thanks for everything. Hope you're well, and we'll see you for the next video. Bye everybody.